Before we begin, thank you very much to Bigger, Smarter, Sharper, Brighter, Newer Convoy for joining the Patreon campaign. We're losing the plot here. The idea is to come up with different sizes of convoy. No, like bigger, smarter, sharper, brighter, newer sounds like Daft Punk is about to start singing. Which would be cool. Because I'm alone in the shop right now and I could use some company, Daft Punk. Ah well. Oh well. But thank you very much for pitching in over on Ko-fi. I do appreciate it. Those little contributions keep the channel going, keep the free content coming, and I appreciate it very, very much. We have a topic today. So the news this week has been nothing short of amazing for just giving me stuff to talk about, whether that is wild speculation or wild speculate. I like speculating. I like trying to guess what's about to happen with Hasbro and Transformers in general. But it also gave us something new. Now, we're not going to talk about the normal stuff until the news roundup on Monday. We're just gonna deep dive into this one in particular because it made me think of something else. This was originally one of those videos where I had one idea in mind. We were going to go through that. And then the more and more I worked on it and the more I ran it through my head, the more I went, there's another topic here that's bugging me even more. This just makes me angry at something else. So we're going to talk about the something else, but we have to get through this first. And this is the official reveal for MPG Hot Rod. Apparently coming out on the 14th, not coming out, but like apparently pre-ordering or full reveal on the 14th, one or the other. And okay, well, like, yes, I love me some Hot Rod. So this is a really cool thing. I will give it that. I'm torn on the overall look itself, just to kind of clarify this, and we'll go over it on the news roundup as well. I have my issues with it. I have my issues with it in general, but we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about something that people noticed almost immediately about this figure, and that, is this just an upscale? Is this literally just a bigger version of Studio Series 86 Hot Rod? I mean, I know it's Style Gen. It can do basically whatever it wants, and we know Style Gen adapts things from toys in order to create the brand new version of these characters. Instead of going for a straight cartoon or toy accuracy, they are attempting to bring a lot of the toyetic elements and a lot of the fresher designs from newer toys and incorporate them into the classic designs. At least that's how we interpreted Optimus Prime. You know, I've always said this, like, if you want, like, perfect cartoon accuracy, MP44. If you want, if you want as close to, like, toy, spiritual successor of the original toy, MP10. If you want something that brings the spirit of modern Optimus Prime toys, Style Gen. That's how we've broken that down. But this is not that. There's sculpted detail that's different, don't get me wrong. The sculpting is definitely new, and technically the mold is completely new. But this is straight up using the exact same transformation scheme. So, let's take a look. I've compiled some evidence for you in the form of super pixelated blow-ups, because that's all we have. We have one good picture of Style Gen Hot Rod so far. You can see that the hinges behind his head are the exact same assembly for holding on to his canopy from vehicle mode. Okay? That's egregious. Here's how the leg kibble transforms. You can see it's the exact same hinge and the exact same shell that goes over to create the back of the leg. How they got this to be black instead of red, that part I'm not entirely sure of yet. But the fact is, it even has the same little gaps to clear out the plastic and make it a little bit cheaper to print that part. Even that's copied? Okay. We take a close-up of the head. Once again, we will point out, yes, there are sculpting differences to these toys. But that said, you can see the exact same slits next to his eyes around the helmet, where the whole thing opens up to reveal his visor to flip down. So even that has been maintained in this release. Even on this super pixelated one, you can see, can you see the hinge? Just barely on the back of the head. You can see that little dot of white where the pin is. Yeah, this thing can do the same thing Studio Series 86 can. Gee, I wonder why. Let's go to vehicle mode comparisons now. So we take a look at the exhaust on the side. They've certainly cleaned it up and made it more visually appealing, but it still has the same hinge in the same spot. If we take a look at the headlights, they've come up with what seems to be the same fix for getting that hot rod shoulder hidden and making it part of the front end of the vehicle mode. And then the most obvious one of all of it, if we take a look at the very top of the car, we see the exact same Y-shaped hinge assembly that connects the front and back of the top of the car. You can even see, like, it even says like the same double hinge on one side. You can even see the gap for the mushroom peg that makes the parts swivel during transformation. Guys, there's no hiding it. There's no obfuscating this. It's an upscale of a retail figure being sold as a masterpiece toy. Like, that's crazy to me. Like, okay, granted, we are at the stage where we are starting to call retail figures mini masterpieces, okay? And I acknowledge that, and I will actually include Studio Series 86 Hot Rod in that discussion. It is an incredibly well-designed and engineered figure, and we have more mini masterpieces, on the way even. Thundercracker looks like it is also going to fall under that category. This is not how it's supposed to be. This is weird. Like, okay, so Masterpiece 10, MP10 Convoy. I still hold that on the Masterpiece end, this is the most fun one to play with. Like, it's not as big and clunky as the MP01 is, and the vehicle mode is way cleaner, but it's not nearly as overcomplicated as MP44. Meaning that this is like a nice, perfect balance. If you just want like a toy Optimus that's masterpiece quality and transformation and detail and etc., MP10's great. But if they had just announced that it was going to be an upscale of Classics Convoy, you'd have lost your mind. Like, what is the point of that? It's a gross example, I will admit. Like, that's absolutely not anything that would have happened back then, but it's crazy. Like, it's absolutely crazy to me that there's a retail figure that is somehow superior to masterpiece engineering to the point where they'd rather just copy that homework and use it themselves. Now, that said, of all the masterpiece toys that are out right now, I will give you this. Hot Rod is very high up on the list of ones that need to be redone. Look at that backpack. That backpack is absolutely obscene. He looks like he's carrying another Transformer on his back. Like, because he's a shell former. Like, the greatest engineers of transforming robots on the planet, and they couldn't figure out how to get Hot Rod's vehicle into his robot mode without just giving him a big backpack of parts like he's RC or something. It was kind of embarrassing. It's not a good masterpiece toy. It's like a very low-end masterpiece toy just because it's not nearly as well engineered. But that's not what you come to expect, right? Like, I will admit, Hot Rod needed the redo. But you expect Masterpiece to be the highest of the high end of Transformer engineering, not just like this weird larger version of what we're already getting. And to be frank with you, for being completely honest, give it a few more years and a few more releases, and Adamus Machina is going to take that title. If we're talking like the next level of Transformer engineering, Adamus Machina is going to be it. So yeah, it's completely eating Masterpiece's lunch at the moment. But it's wild to me. It's absolutely wild to me. Now, in the terms of like retail figures. This is what makes me start like wondering, like, why are we bothering with Masterpiece anymore when the retail figures are getting as good as they are? Like, even the cheap deluxes, there's a lot out there that tend to be as good as you could possibly hope the character to be. You know, you're never going to get Masterpiece Needle Nose or anything, but the Needle Nose Deluxe that came out, it's pretty good. Hits all the notes. Fun to transform. Got the target masters. It's got all the good articulation. Why would I ever ask for another one? Why would I ever expect another one to come out that's better than this one? And that's kind of how it is right now. Like, the more I think about this, like, Masterpiece has had over 20 years to accomplish just a few goals that you would think would be a very high priority for a line like that, and it has failed, whereas the retail side of things, the retail level Transformers, have technically accomplished those goals sometimes multiple times over. You know, do you want a do you want a complete cast of the original Transformers show? You can't get that in Masterpiece even after over 20 years, but at retail you can, and the retail figures are actually really, really good. You know, we've gotten to the point, I feel like we talk so much about toys used to cost 10 bucks, 12 bucks, 15 bucks, and now it's 25 bucks, and now it's going to be 28 bucks for a deluxe. And I don't think we talk enough about the fact that they are so much better than the toys we got when they, you know, over the ones that were 10, 12, 15. Remember Universe 2.0? Like, look at those toys. Like the hot, like the, what is it? Like Classics Hot, look at Classics Hot Rod. Look at Universe 2.0 Sideswipe. Look at Universe 2.0 Sunstreaker. Even Cyclonus, which I think is a fantastic toy. But the Kingdom Cyclonus, not a doubt. It's one of the best toys I've ever held in my hands. What is the point of Masterpiece when retail is giving us exactly what we wanted out of Masterpiece and never got, either because their priorities were skewed or because they're so slow to produce things? You know, look at MP44 versus Studio Series 86 Optimus Prime. I would play with the Studio Series 86 over and over again before I would ever touch MP44. MP44, fantastic accomplishment. You know, dead-on cartoon accuracy while still having a full transformation. It's so unpleasant to transform. I don't want to mess with it. But the 86 is fun. I like transforming the 86. It's so much more intuitive. And it accomplishes the exact same thing that MP44 was going for, but way more fun and way cleaner. So why would I ever bother with a crazy expensive Optimus Prime imported from Japan when this thing that I found at Target one day is categorically better? You know? And at this point, I don't see Masterpiece ever improving because I don't feel a need to improve. They don't feel it needs to improve or whatever. Like, it feels like they're almost in like retreat mode right now. So like, think of like the Masterpiece toys that we have coming up. So far, for MPG, what we know is coming out is Style Gen Optimus Prime, which is nowhere near as complicated as the previous Optimus Primes in Masterpiece. Style Gen Hot Rod, who is literally just an upscale of a retail level Hot Rod toy. There's Road Hauler. It's a repaint. It's just a repaint of Grapple. That's it. You know, like and then the Soundwave, right? So MPG Soundwave, which we've already criticized on this channel before because it literally is just a repaint of a 13-year-old toy. And this is by far a perfect toy, by the way. You've got obvious kibble hanging off the side of the leg. You've got those awful hips that absolutely should never have existed. You've got even the backside that Masterpiece would tend to clean up these days. It's still kind of a mess on the backside of the cassette recorder. The toy is good, don't get me wrong, but there's room for improvement, and Masterpiece of the past would have actually improved it. You know, the way they did previously with the likes of like Starscream. But now we are seeing a Masterpiece that just plays it as safe as possible. You know, we've got repaints, simpler figures, and that's it. And that's all we know that's on the way for Masterpiece for the foreseeable future. We have long since lost the plot when it comes to Masterpiece. Think of this. You've had over 20 years. Okay, if you're creating a Masterpiece line of Transformer toys, what should be your very first goal? Well, complete the original cast. Like, at the very least, the ones that appeared in More Than Meets the Eye 3-part, right? At the very least that. I might not expect Constructicons because it's combining, that's difficult at this scale, but at the very least give me like the main bots, right? But no, we don't have that. We don't have Mirage. We don't have Reflector. We don't have any mini bots outside of Bumblebee. Think of how many mini bots there are. At the very least, the original 6. And we have one? After over 20 years, we have one. And then there's Jazz. Like, I thought Jazz was just, like, held up because Porsche wouldn't play ball for the license. But think of this. Like, we had them on board for Rise of the Beasts. So as long as we had the license to do Porsche toys, why not just do Jazz? Someone at Takara has to have had that design for over a decade and is just sitting on it, waiting for them to actually be able to make it. Like, the second Porsche was on board, they should have gone, we have this thing that we really need to do, and it will sell, and you will make a lot of royalties off of it. Please let us do it. Over 20 years, and they still do not have a complete cast on either the Autobot or Decepticon side. And the Decepticon side is egregious because you don't need to license the camera mode. You just make Reflector and call the 84 Autobot cast complete. What about the 86 cast? Oh my god, how many holes are here? We don't even have holes in the 86 cast. We have like the little bits of the ship that are left after the cannonballs just obliterated it and then blew up all the gunpowder in the ship and obliterated the ship. This is just horrible. So the only thing we have for the 86 cast, Ultra Magnus, Hot Rod, Rodimus Prime, RC. That's it. We don't have Galvatron, we don't have Cyclonus, we don't have a Cup, we don't have a Blur, we don't even have a Wheelie. We got nothing. Absolutely nothing. They did a few and then completely forgot about it. Not even an attempt to go pick it up at this point. And then what happens to like the Beast Wars cast? Because, you know, we got one Beast Wars character a year for a bit. We got Rhinox in 24, Rat Trap last year, and now we have no announcement for who comes next. The obvious is Air Razor to complete the Maximal cast from Season 1, but look at the Predacon cast. You've got Megatron and Black Arachnia, and that's it. And let's be honest here, we know why they did Black Arachnia. But where's Waspinator? Waspinator is an incredibly popular character. A Masterpiece of him would absolutely sell. I understand the Predacon cast is probably not nearly as popular in Japan, but, like, why leave it so open? More to the point, how many years have been doing Masterpiece Beast Wars toys, and they can't even complete a roster of 7 characters yet? And because MPG's priorities are so different, understand, we don't have any word on any brand new Masterpiece toy that measures up to original Masterpiece standards. None whatsoever. You know, we got the trains that were lukewarm at best, and that was it for MPG. Everything else has been safe. It has been repaints. It has been stuff that was left over, originally designed for MP, but MPG took over, so there's where Ginrai went, there's where Rat Trap went. We got no word on anything new that's going to actually continue the design ideas and the leftover series from the original MP. And this is where you start to realize that Masterpiece is not only terrible at accomplishing even basic goals, it is also going to be impossible to give you what you want as a collector. You are never going to see complete casts of a lot of these rosters. You're never going to get Omega Supreme or Metroplex, largely because they would be like 5 feet tall and physically impossible. But it does make you realize, like, yeah, I am never going to have that. So if you've got a shelf that's full of like G1 Autobot characters from the original cartoon, understand, even at Masterpiece level, that's never going to be complete. At least, as long as you're sticking to strictly official product. So there's always going to be gaps. Masterpiece is always going to have gaps. Do you think your favorite obscure Transformer is ever going to get a Masterpiece release? Like, I had a Crosshairs as a kid. Crosshairs is never getting a Masterpiece at this rate. They've never done a Headmaster. They've only done one Power Master, because that's an Optimus Prime toy, technically. And they've never done a Target Master outside of throwing one in with Hot Rod. And I barely count that because he's not an actual Target Master character. Even characters who are like Chrome Dome's not a small deal character. He was like the lead Autobot for a good length in Headmasters. And we have nothing for him? Nothing? No Metal Hawk, lead character of Master Force. Nope, don't have anything for him. Don't have a villain for Ginrai either. Starsaber came out forever ago. No villain for him either. You're going to be waiting a long time. If I hold my breath waiting for a Masterpiece Blitzwing, I will die 1,000,000 times over before we ever get an announcement. And like I said, like the stuff that we are getting from MPG is just playing it safe. Even the train bots were playing it safe. Yes, the engineering level is comparable to original Masterpiece. It still turned out to be a mess when it was done. It don't look good as an actual robot toy. It was safe because it appealed to train collectors as well. That's the only reason they did it. That's the reason they went with Raiden first above all the other combiners. It was safe. Never mind, it completely throws the scale off. It's a safe release. That's all it is. That's all it is. It's just Takara feels like they took their lumps with Masterpiece, both in the fact that they're running out of good, like, headliner characters collectors are going to want, and just way too many accumulated issues with the line. Things like, the QC issues that trailed after Lyle Convoy and Hound. Hound especially. Oh my god, Hound was a mess. So it feels like they rebranded to escape that, but it also feels like they rebranded simply so they could just do whatever they want with the name Masterpiece and call it a day. But what they're doing right now, with no connection to the original toy line, no announcements towards like continuing character sets and accomplishing like simple goals like everyone from episode 1 has a toy now, it all just feels aimless. Someone else who's never getting a Masterpiece toy. I don't know. I don't see the point to Masterpiece anymore. Like, it's not the epitome of Transformer tech anymore. It's incapable of giving us a complete cast of characters, even amongst a small group. The only ones who actually got one were the movie Masterpiece collectors. That's it. If you like the Bayverse, you got one movie's worth of a cast. I'm still waiting for Waspinator and Airazor. I'm still waiting for Reflector and Jazz. They ain't happening. I'd be shocked at this point if Takara could pull it together and actually make a complete set of something. But that's the thoughts for the day. You can see where, like, I was really just kind of going to expose MPG Hot Rod as just a shameless upscale. And then it just trailed off into this, like, well, why is there a reason why we even have Masterpiece anymore? What, like, should we just, like, focus on Adamus Machina and Missing Link and just let Masterpiece go off into the sunset? I don't know. Let me know in the comments below what you think. If it's a line that's outlived its usefulness, if the retail level is just so good at this point that we don't need it anymore. There's a lot of ways to look at this, but feel free to discuss it in the comment section below. And as always, I will see you next time.
Hello everyone, I am Astral Agent Magnetar, a Tokusatsu VTuber, and I am streaming 4 times a week over on Twitch, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday afternoons, and a special late night one on late Friday/early Saturday. So come watch, come hang out, and let's make an impact together.